Is Luffy's Devil Fruit special, and why is it important to the world government? In this video, we're going to discuss the ending of chapter 1017, so be aware of spoilers. In the latest chapter, we ended on a cliffhanger. We find out that 12 years ago, Luffy's Devil Fruit, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, was being transported on a government ship and was guarded by a former CP9 agent being Who's Who. This leaves us with a lot of questions, particularly in relation to Shanks, who has remained a mystery for the entirety of the story. Let's go back to chapter 1. The Red Hair Pirates were staying at Fuchsia Village, which is Luffy's hometown in Dawn Island, for a year. He conducted various expeditions while using Fuchsia Village as a base of operations. So, why was Shanks in the East Blue to begin with? Was his main objective to track down the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Lucky Roo states that the Red Hair Pirates stole the Devil Fruit from an enemy ship. As a result of this, Who's Who was not able to complete his escort mission and became a rogue agent. Just a side note, for a simple island in the East Blue, Dawn Island is associated with a lot of high-profile individuals. There is Luffy, Ace, Sabo, Garp, Dragon, and technically Shanks, who stayed there for a year. Let's get back on track. Shanks has connections to the world government. Back in chapter 907, he was able to meet with the Gorosei during the reverie. So, did someone on the inside leak information about the transportation of the Gomu Gomu no Mi? But why is the fruit so important? I think there are a few possibilities. Some popular theories going around is that it could be Rock's D Zebek's fruit, but I think Kaido or Big Mom would have noted that it resembled their captain's fruit. Some say it could be Roger's fruit. Again, I think Buggy, Whitebeard, or Rayleigh, who trained Luffy, would have at least mentioned that. And the Pirate King's Devil Fruit would definitely not go unnoticed, as Luffy has traveled across the seas. Another possibility is that it could be Joy Boy's Devil Fruit. This could be a likely scenario. The Straw Hat in Marijoa probably belonged to Joy Boy from 800 years ago, and he could have been the previous user of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, so perhaps the fruit was being transported to him. Considering that Luffy has the Straw Hat and the Devil Fruit, this would further reinforce the idea that he is this generation's Joy Boy. This would play nicely into the idea of inherited will. The Devil Fruit and the Straw Hat symbolize inheriting the will of the previous Joy Boy. But in my opinion, I think the most likely scenario is that it was being transported to Vegapunk. Although not much is known about Vegapunk, we know that he has been experimenting with Devil Fruits for decades. He was initially arrested by the world government due to his experiments, but was later appointed the chief scientist of the Marines. He discovered that the Devil Fruits changed the lineage factors or the DNA of the host and grant them superhuman abilities. He was also able to extract the lineage factors from the Devil Fruits and transfer them into inanimate objects. He was also able to clone the lineage factors, which is how pacifistas are able to use Kizaru's light beam, and Spandam's sword Funkfried is able to become an elephant. Vegapunk and Vinsmoke Judge worked closely in their research of lineage factors and cloning, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Queen mentioned the research group MADS in this chapter. This group was most likely led by Vegapunk, with Queen, Judge being lead scientist as they studied Devil Fruits. This would have probably been before Vegapunk was employed by the world government. So, 12 years ago, I think Vegapunk was working for the Marines and wanted to use the properties of the Gomu Gomu no Mi to create super soldiers similar to the pacifistas. This makes sense in a way because Luffy's Devil Fruit has high durability and endurance because of its elastic properties. It can withstand enormous amounts of damage and would be ideal for soldiers. So, imagine pacifistas with Luffy's Devil Fruit. They would be far more durable and resilient to damage. Because Who's Who was not able to protect the Devil Fruit from being stolen by the Red Hair Pirates, he essentially cost the Marines an army of super soldiers. It would make sense that his failure led to him being imprisoned, and later when he escaped, he was labeled a rogue agent. So to wrap things up, I think it'll be interesting to see how Oda fleshes out this plot point, and it definitely makes the Jinbei vs Who's Who fight a lot more interesting.